At 19, Galt, a member of a violent L.A. gang, had been given a choice between jail or the army. Galt loved the military and was a natural for special forces training. At 26, Galt turned mercenary, putting his skills to work in East and West Africa. All during his years abroad, Galt had been indulging another passion, writing. Plotted and fleshed out during his African sojourn and completed during 6 months of furious activity in a cheap apartment in Manhattan, Plains of Anguish made Galt rich and established him as a writer of note. The novels that followed increased his literary reputation, but they were not the only reason Galt's name was newsworthy. Shortly after the movie version of his second novel was released, Galt married his leading lady. The gossip columns were suddenly full of stories about Galt's latest affair or drunken brawl. When Galt drove his Rolls-Royce through the bedroom wall of his wife's lover's beach house, the missus called it quits. Galt, fed up with Hollywood, headed for the quiet of the Pacific Northwest. A year later, Galt emerged from seclusion carrying the manuscript for A Ransom for the Dying, which won the Pulitzer Prize. While working on the book, he had met Julie Webster, whom he was presently accused of beating to death. Julie Webster Galt, the daughter of a former Secretary of Commerce, was beautiful, spoiled, and rich. To her parents' horror, she married Thomas Galt after a brief courtship that consisted of several violent couplings in various odd places and positions. The marriage was doomed from the beginning. Julie Webster was incapable of loving anyone but herself, and Thomas Galt was similarly afflicted. By the time the novelty of working their way through the Kama Sutra wore off, the couple realized that they could not stand each other. Galt's drinking, which was excessive in the best of times, got worse. Julie started wearing high-neck sweaters and sunglasses to cover her bruises. Then, one evening, someone beat Julie Galt to death in her bedroom on the second floor of their lakeside mansion. The police arrested Galt. He swore that he was innocent. He told them he had been sleeping off a drunk when screams from his wife's bedroom awakened him. He said he found Julie lying in a pool of blood and had knelt to take a pulse. A sudden movement behind him had made him turn, and he had seen an athletically built man of average height with curly blonde hair standing above him. The intruder struck him on the head, Galt told the police, and he was unconscious for a few moments. When the police arrived, there was blood on Galt's hands and bathrobe and a bruise on the left side of his face. Whether Thomas Galt or a mysterious stranger had taken Julie Webster Galt's life was the subject of a 2-month trial. Famous writers and movie stars took the stand, either recounting the Galt's marital battles or coming to the writer's defense. As the case neared its end, David was worried. Then Galt took the stand. During the time that David represented him, Galt had not shown a single sign that his wife's death disturbed him. To the contrary, he seemed happy to be rid of her. But Galt was a great actor, and his performance as a witness had been superb. He emerged from 2 days of direct and cross-examination as a sympathetic figure. He had even broken into tears once while testifying. The jury had been sent from the room, and never saw how quickly Galt recovered his composure. Galt was like that. He had an innate ability to tune in on and manipulate the feelings of other people. David found him a fascinating yet frightening man, an original in whom he sensed a quality of evil. Everything he knew about Galt made him believe that the writer's detachment was genuine. Nothing appeared to touch him. Still, he wondered how Galt would react if the jury found him guilty. Flashbulbs exploded, and a thin, attractive woman from NBC just missed David's lower lip with a handheld mic. David made a brief comment to the press as he elbowed his way through the crowd toward the courtroom. Galt followed, laughing and chatting with the reporters. A local photographer asked Galt to pose for a picture, and Galt paused, sweeping his stylishly long brown hair backward to reveal his handsome profile. At a little under 6 feet, with a figure kept trim by constant exercise, Galt produced a good photograph. Cameras clicked, and the courtroom doors swept open. A stir of almost sexual excitement filled the courtroom when Galt entered. David watched the faces of the women. They wanted